Louton Show, Episode 2. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that intro song, and that will be on our show forever now. If our show lasts forever, which I sincerely hope it does. That was my Aunt Val Louton in California, and we were doing karaoke, and I thought it'd be a good addition to stir up some patriotism. So, hope you enjoyed that. So today we're gonna go through this day in history. And a very interesting fact there, the life of Saul Kerzner, a resorts mogul who died literally as I was doing the last week's podcast. So, yeah. Then we'll go through 3 John Adams facts, which I think and I hope will increase your knowledge of John Adams as part of our president's knowledge drive, which I'm doing on this show. To try to increase your knowledge of each president. So, yeah. Okay, so, this day in history. The first ambulance went into service. And this is a very interesting thing because, the first ambulance led to many other ambulances which saved many, 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 many lives. I can't put enough manys without running out of time. But anyway, I was wondering as I was pondering this and seeing, the first ambulance was put into service. Well, gee, will we even think about that in 100 years? Because will we think, gee, did the ambulance even make a difference? I mean, our whole population was wiped out by coronavirus. Well, I really hope and pray that doesn't happen, and it won't happen. And let's hold thumbs that it doesn't happen and hope for the human race. So 1866, the first ambulance was put into service, and it was a little tiny car, just like one of those cars those little wooden cars that you drive. Well, it wasn't wooden, but it was in that style of little buggies. So that was the first ambulance. Then Saul Kerzner's life. He was South African and he grew up in South Africa. He attended the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, South Africa, which is a very interesting place. He qualified as an accountant there, and then took over his family's hotel chain and went on to found the 2 largest hotel chains in Africa, Sun and Southern Sun. And Sun had a thing called Sun City, which is pretty much a gambling land. And it's a very interesting place. I'd say it's the Disneyland of South Africa. So, yeah. So that's Saul Kerzner. His career spanned 45 years, and he died on March 21st, 2020 of cancer. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the life of Saul Kerzner. Then, 3 facts about John Adams. 1, he never had any slaves, and Pete Buttigieg, the candidate, said, founding fathers and people who wrote the Declaration of Independence and whatever did have no idea that slavery was a bad thing. No, dummy. Slavery was a bad thing, and they knew it. That you can find quote after quote of people like John Adams, who didn't have any slaves because he believed it was a bad thing, saying, I'd be in favor of abolishing slavery. So, yeah, that's a whole thing, and Pete Buttigieg got that wrong. So I think John Adams was a big influence, and then Lincoln came in and Linkified everything, if that's even a word, and got everything back working, and there was no more slavery. So thank you, Honest Abe. So, yeah, all that to say, John Adams believed slavery was a bad thing and didn't have any slaves. 2, none of his family was there at the time that he was being inaugurated president. Gee, I hope when it comes time that I get inaugurated president that some of my family will be there. I'd be so lonesome. I'd be crying when I gave my speech because none of my family would be there. And John Adams was a very strong man. He managed without any of his family there, but I imagine he was quite lonely. So that's John Adams. And then sorry, that was Ned Flanders there. Ned, I invited you for next week, not this week. Oh boy, I have to go and drive back to Springfield now. Okay, you do that, Ned. Sorry, Ned Flanders got mixed up about the dates that he was coming to be on the show. Lastly asked, as Ned Flanders said, he died the same day as Thomas Jefferson, the third president, and many of you probably have seen that on your little things where you like to look on your little screens and your little Wikipedia and whatever, and said, oh, they must have fouled up there, they got mixed up. But actually, they didn't. Actually, they died on the same day, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. So that's 3 John Adams facts, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you next week. You can get a shout out by donating anything up above $1 to our Patreon account, www.patreon.com/The Louton Show. Get a shout out that way. Also, reply Louton to any of my tweets. I'm at The Real Louton on Twitter, and so any tweet I do is you can reply Louton to it, and you can get a shout out that way. Also on the subject of Twitter, follow me, tell your friends to follow me. The guys who've been building my account have been terrific. Thank you very much. And you'll love my tweets and my podcasts. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Man, I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing me next week. After all, a guy like me who's not looking forward to seeing me next week. Oh, I forgot. The guys who are seeing me tomorrow. Okay, I gotta go to the loony bin now. Goodbye.